Yes then, welcome back to the channel, episode 3, I believe, of the Pro Debut Prep series. As promised in the last video, I was going to run through a bit of a pool day, and that is what we're going to do this morning. So it is still pretty early, it's 20 to 7. I've just finished meal 1, which was omelette and cream of rice. Just going to let that settle for 10-15 minutes, then going to get my pre and intra sorted and then head to the gym. As I say, pull day today. I'm going to say pull, I've just been back and rear delts. I don't really train arms that much, as you can tell. I just don't really train arms that much. I do them on a Sunday with some delts. It's like add a little bit of side delts in there, some extra volume through side delts, and then just tag some arms on at the end of it. Because just with how I want the physique to progress, arms is probably, bar legs, arms is probably the least... what's the word I'm looking for? Not desirable, least important for me to grow. In terms of just being able to enhance the physique, like I want to bring my delts up, I want to bring my chest up, and I know my arms grow very quickly if I do train them. So do my legs actually, but my arms in particular, they do grow very, very quickly if I do train them with higher frequency, higher loads, and kind of train them like every other muscle group that I train. And I don't want them to obviously outbalance the physique. So as I say, don't train arms very much, probably about 4 sets of triceps, 4 sets of biceps across the whole week, well, once a week on a Sunday. So don't tend to tag them on to kind of like my push and pull days. As you'll see, it's kind of like chest and delts, chest and side delts, back and rear delts, like things like that. And then I say just a little bit of arms at the end of the week, just so I can say I've trained arms. But yeah, I'm going to run through obviously some back and rear delts today. I'll try and keep it similar to last time where we done a little bit of talking in between. Got some good feedback from that, so something I'll try and keep up with. It's not something that I want to do too frequently, particularly obviously the deeper I get into prep. I kind of just want to get in there and get my training done. But as I say, I promised I'd run through a pull day, and I found that style of doing it pretty good for this content. So something I will try and keep up with. Don't hold me to it though. I say 5 more minutes now, to be fair, because I'm waffling on. 5 more minutes, then we're going to get the pre sorted, we're going to get the intra sorted, we're going to get to the gym nice and early. Again, it is going to be a hot day. We've had 2 days at 30 plus degrees. It's going to be about 27, 28 today. So again, want to get in nice and early, beat the heat, get out and then get back. I've got plenty of things to be doing work-wise today, plenty of check-ins. Wednesday's a particularly busy day for check-ins for me today, and then I've got to film the second half of this video, which is going to be a bit of a Q&A. Put a question box up last week and kind of picked kind of 5 or 6 prep related questions that tie in very nicely with this, to run through. I obviously answered most of the questions on my Instagram story, but I pulled these 5 or 6 in particular aside for the purpose of this video. So yeah, they'll be answered at the end. That's it for now. Literally just, as I say, make my pre, make my intro, get to the gym, get trained, get wham, get shredded. It's actually a pretty good day today in terms of how things are progressing on prep. I don't know if it's just because of the heat and probably sweating so much the last couple of days, but we're like 3.5 pounds down in the last 2 days. We have made a little bit of an adjustment at this, but obviously leading into these 2 days. So Monday's check-in, we pulled 25 grams of carbs off each day, added Winstrol in, and that is it. That is all we've done. We've added 30 milligrams of Winstrol in and 25 grams of carbs off each day, and it's pulled 3.5 pounds off immediately. And it's something that Zach said, like when we've been making these adjustments, because every time we've made a bit of a pull, it's literally just been like 25 grams of carbs off, 5 minutes of extra cardio. It's not been any kind of like we need to really fucking push here. We need to pull the trigger. It's just been little edges forward, and you can see the response pretty immediately when you're on your shit. When you've been on your shit for a long time as well, like you kind of know just making small adjustments is going to progress that physique to the next level of where you need it to be. Not I need to pull 50 grams of carbs, 10 grams of fat, add 10 minutes cardio. It's been nice and steady. And again, another very, very small minor change has brought along some very, very good results. So yeah, we'll see when it cools down. Because as I say, I don't know whether it's just because it's been 30 plus degrees the last 2 days and I've been absolutely sweating my twat off. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm hitting some new lows, and that's kind of that's new points that we need to be, obviously new set points that we need to be working from. So yeah, let's get into it. As I say, no point waiting around now. Let's go and do the intra. Let's go and do the pre. Let's go do the intra. Let's get ready and let's get to the gym. Right then, let's get to it. Time for supplements. The morning pill pot is sorted. God knows how many tablets are in there. Far too many, but that's what it's like on prep. Rather have too much than not enough. Intra is sorted, which is very, very simple. We are just using at the minute HR Labs Hydro EAAs. So obviously we've got some electrolytes in there, particularly important on very hot days like this, and just some EAAs. Do I think the EAAs are necessarily needed? No. Do I prefer to drink super fresh OJ rather than just plain water when I'm training? Absolutely. Who doesn't? Particularly in prep, we like them sweeter tasting things. So for me, EAAs, more so in prep, I will go with EAAs. Some electrolytes, something like that, that's just going to have a little bit of extra sweetness, I suppose, more than anything. And then just doing the pre-workout, current pre-workout stack, current pre-workout combo is 1 scoop of Strom Sports Vascumax and 1 scoop of Trained by JP Prepare Pro. I don't go too heavy on the stims. I prefer to have more of a pump formula, but I do like a little bit of stim. And obviously this has got, obviously only having 1 scoop instead of 2, and this has got 175 milligrams of caffeine in. If I had 2 scoops and 350, I would be cooked after training. I find that I just crash too much with too much stim, but I do like that little bit that's going to give me something whilst I am training. So 1 scoop of each of them. That's a full serving of Vascumax and half a serving of Prepare Pro. 1 scoop of Hydro EAAs for intra, and then enough tablets to set up a pharmacy to go in. So that is it. Literally just have this, get out of the door. It is 5 to 7, so nearly half an hour since I finished my meal. It's going to take me 20 minutes to get to the gym, so a good kind of hour before I've started training for that to digest, which is perfect. Because obviously we've got some fats in there. If I didn't have any fats in there pre-training, then I would most likely have that a bit more close to kind of half an hour. But as I say, there's fats in there. We had a whole egg in there. We had some dark chocolate in there. So a good kind of like probably, I can't remember what it is on MyFitnessPal, but about 10 to 12 grams of fat in there. So I want to give it enough time, at least an hour, preferably 90 minutes, but as I say, I want to get in nice and early today to beat the heat. So preferably 90 minutes. I like to wait if I've got kind of a decent enough amount of fats in there. But we should be okay. Obviously, we're on quite minimal food at the minute. It's still not drastically low, but obviously there's not a hell of a lot of food volume in there, so it's not like there's a lot for the lot of work for the digestive system to do. So that hour period probably going to be all right considering that. So take tablets, pack bag, get out the door, grow a massive back. Let's have it. Right then, here we go. We are in for pull. The usual routine for me, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen my back workouts enough times, even though I don't post my training too often because it's all the same shit. Like, I'll pretty much do the same exercises consistently, off-season, prep. Volume and intensifiers and stuff are the only things that really changes. So with back, I always like to start with some pull-ups, some neutral grip pull-ups. Obviously I have a little bit of a stretch and stuff before, just to loosen the lats, loosen the upper back off. But as I say, just going to start with some pull-ups. There's some single arm pull downs, chest supported T-bar row, or prime seated row. Haven't decided yet. Again, I'll flutter between the two. Cybex row, strive row, something along them lines. Couple of pull downs, couple of rows, whatever a back session is. But yeah, I'm going to just get some pull ups. Kind of pre-exhaust with pull-ups. Generally get the first set of kind of like 15, and then the second set's usually around 10 to 12. So let's get into it. And I've lost count. Completely lost count there. Just go to a failure basically. 2 sets to a failure. As I say, normally get 15 first set, 10 to 12 second set. The whole session is not going to be like this, by the way. I will literally just film some sets. I won't be talking all the time, but yeah, one more set of that. Having a little bit of a stretch off, stretch the lats off, and then continue the workout. So, let's say one more set of this, and then we'll move on to single arm pull downs. So, I didn't go to plan. The single arm pull down was taken. The T-bar row is taken. So, straight on to exercise number 4, because I ain't the kind of person that's gonna fucking sit and wait around 10-15 minutes because I need to do things in a particular order. Yeah, just kill training for me. So exercise number 2 is going to be the seated prime row. Slight upper back focus, drop the seat just a little bit, keep the focus on, having the arms slightly, having the hands slightly kind of pronated, yeah, definitely pronated, I always get mixed up. Slightly pronated, slightly twisted in, driving the elbows out, and as I say, keeping that slight upper back focus, so replaces that T-bar effectively. Yep. Nope. Not bad. Not a bad set. Take that one. Okay, on to single arm Nautilus pull down. Probably the best single arm pull down that there is. it's going to be nice to actually do this today. I've had very sore lats for the past 2 weeks whilst doing this. Obviously, moving into prep. One thing that I really wanted to do, sorry mate, you weren't on it. One thing that I really wanted to do was increase dosing frequency, which meant rotating jab sites. Now, one place that I've never pinned before, and I don't know why I've never pinned there before until 2 weeks ago, was my lats. Fantastic area, by the way, for those that are looking to do it. Not medical advice, but very easy area to do it. But we all know what it's like. Well, most of us know what it's like. All of us enhanced people know what it's like. The first couple of times you hit a new spot or go back to a spot that you haven't done for a long time, it fucking hurts. So this exercise in particular, obviously we're being so lat targeted, has been really sore. I've not really been able to kind of maximise what I can do on it for the past 2 weeks. Jab site's starting to ease off a little bit now, starting to get used to it. Inflammation's down massively in them, so we'll be able to get a decent couple of sets on here. So it's 2 sets so far, just keeping the breakdown. 2 sets of pull-ups till failure to start, with some stretching and mobility for the lats. Then we've gone on to seated prime, 2 sets, just 2 straight sets, 10 to 12, nice and simple. I don't tend to do that one too often, so I would normally opt for a T-bar. So when I do it, I don't really like to push too hard on it, just focus on the quality of the movement. And now onto my favourite pull down. So let's get into 2 sets of this, 2 sets on each side. We'll look for 8 to 12. I'll do a warm up, kind of a feeder set, as I do with all exercises. Always at least 1 feeder set, just to get that mind muscle connection, as I spoke about in the last training video. So we'll do 1 feeder set, then we'll do a top set where we'll look for 8 to 10, and then we'll do a slight back off where we'll look for 10 to 12. There's two ways round of doing that top set back off set, in my opinion. Well, not necessarily top set back off set, but a 2-way round of doing it. You're obviously doing the top set first, the heavy work, having that slight drop of weight, and then doing that back off set. Or if kind of a way that I have tended to do it a lot more recently, particularly kind of like since the start of the year, is go for that top set. Say you go in 8 to 10 for your top set, but you hit 12. Now, don't change the load, but theoretically, as long as you've pushed kind of close towards failure, there's going to be more fatigue in that muscle into the next set. So you just don't change the weight, and say you got 12 on the first one, you're probably going to get somewhere between 8 and 10 on the second one. So it's more like back off set into top set rather than top set back off set. But yeah, anyway, enough of me rambling on. I said that we weren't going to be too much talking in this thingy, but I'm enjoying it, so going to keep cracking on with it. Intra workout going down lovely, nice and fresh. Put some ice cubes in it as well, so perfect for this hot weather. Let's get into 2 sets of this, because if I keep talking, this session is going to take me fucking 3 hours. Straight in, top set. Fuck it. 8 to 10, let's go. Bad place for the mic. Now, just before I move on to the other side, notice how at the end of that, then my last couple of reps there, I wasn't fighting them 50-50 reps. I wasn't doing the pull down, yank, 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 like you see some people do. I was just allowing to work in the kind of range of motion that was left in the muscle at the end of the day. Like for me, if I'm only getting to, for the last couple of reps, I'm only getting to here, and that's my lat fatigued, doing this, it isn't going to get any more lat. I'm just going to be using bicep. I'm going to be using other muscles. I'm going to be changing position just to get that down. There's no point. Just work with the range of motion that you've got left in that muscle. Like fatigue the different parts. Obviously that lengthened part, we're going to have a lot more in it. We're going to be able to do a couple of partial reps. There's no point of ripping through, using other muscles. Just isolate the muscle that you're trying to work. Makes more sense. So another thing I just want to touch on as well when it comes to unilateral work, single arm work. When it comes to rest periods, so you don't want to be treating it like 2 sets combined into one. You don't want to do left side, drop the weight, change sides, straight into the next side. That's not how we want to work. We want to have a little bit of time in between. When it comes to how I personally like to work, when it comes to working with 2 hands, double arm work, I kind of have anywhere between like 2 to 5 minute rest periods. When it comes to single arm work, I'll still have a rest period in between each side, but I'll kind of just have like a minute and a half in between each side, and then move on to the next. As I say, we don't want to be treating it like 2 sets in one. Just because you're only working one side, you still want to have that little bit of time to recover, that little bit of rest period in between. It's really going to help maximize what you get out of each side as well, because regardless, like we need the oxygen, we need the rest, we need the heart rate to come down, allow us to kind of fix and focus and get switched into that other side as well. A lot of things to take into consideration. It's not just bouncing from one side to the next. That's my take anyway. Okay, on to exercise number 4. The Cybex row. I think it's the VR one. It's my favourite row in the gym. Taking the neutral grip, very lat, making it more lat biased. Obviously we've got the overhand grip, the pronated grip for upper back. I like taking that neutral grip, keeping them elbows nice and tucked, as I say, making it very lat dominant. Definitely my favourite row in the gym. So 3 straight sets on this. Probably do 3 straight sets. We'll do 2 top sets. We'll look for 8 to 10 for 2, and then we'll do a back off of 12 to 15. And then we'll just finish off on the Strive single arm row, which is here next to me, which will give me what, 2 sets of pull downs, 2 sets of pull ups, 2 sets of seated row, 2 sets of single arm row. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9 on here, 10, 11 on there. So we'll do 2 sets on each side on that as well. So 11 sets for back. We'll do 3 sets, possibly 4 sets of rear delts. Probably do, I'm not going to film rear delts because who gives a fuck about rear delts? No, who gives a fuck about watching it anyway? So I'll probably do 2 sets on the prime pec deck, and put it in the lengthened range so we can get that real good stretch. And then we've got the Nautilus Nitro over there, which is obviously keeping the pressure through the pads. And what I like to do with that is more of drive the elbows back, so it's a bit more of a row rather than a fly. I mean, the machine moves the same, but thinking about how you directly target and move through that movement, as I say, more just straight back, like a pressing movement, but the elbow pads obviously keep it secure and keep it in the position, and obviously the machine moves the same, but as I say, that direct target of action really allows me to get more of a row movement through my rear delts than the fly movement that the prime's going to give me. So I'll probably do 2 sets on each, to be honest with you. One's going to get more the lengthened range, one's going to get more the shortened range. But 3 straight sets on here, 2 sets on that, which I'll film a set on that as well, so you can see how I set up and what I do with it. Probably my favourite variation of a single arm row. And then I won't film rear delts, then we'll do some post-workout visuals, and we'll get the Q&A done as well. So let's get it. Nearly done. So just to run through how I make this even more lat dominant, I take the handles as low as I possibly can, and then what I'm going to aim to do is stick that arse out, so we've got that slight little bit of lean forward into it, rather than being in this position where I'm going to end up pulling through that upper back. Stick that arse backwards, a little bit more lean in towards that chest pad, and then from there keep that head forward and work through that middle of the back and through them lats, making sure that we're not rocking away from that chest pad and making it more upper back dominant than what we want it. And again, exactly what I said. Not fucking changing form, changing angles, ripping through the biceps. Just working the lat, working the middle of the back or the upper back, whatever we're doing. Working it in the range of motion that it's got left. Not using other muscles to get that extra range of motion. Last set on the last exercise. So I've already done a top set on this. Got 10 reps. So we're going to stay on the same weight, and we're going to do a rest pause on this probably. So we'll look for 8 to 10 again. Take a 15-20 second little break, and then look to get another whatever out of it. We'll see. Slightly diminishing. This is pretty much one of the only intensifiers that I do in the whole of my week now, apart from like a bit of a drop set on laterals or something like that at some point. But yeah, rest pause set, last set of back. As I say, this will be the last exercise filmed, so I'm not going to do rear delts. It's just boring to film, boring to watch. Not that the rest of my training's any more exciting to watch, I suppose. Some people will enjoy it, so that's the only reason I'm doing it. Right, let's see. Kind of top set into a rest pause. Let's get it. Go. You know what? I'm going to be absolutely wild. I'm going to do a drop set and rest pause, all in one. I just fancy getting a few more reps out. The pump's been terrible today. You can tell I've dropped that fucking 3 pounds the last 2 days. I am so flat. So, drop set, rest pause. Let's go. Right side to do. Then I'm going to finish rear delt. I'm going to do some rear delts. Fuck, that was a hard set. And then we'll go down to the posing room and we'll have a look, see what the back looks like on visuals with a 3 pound drop over the last 2 days. Fingers crossed, it's tightened up. and job done. Pull done, visuals done. Time to get home, get a bit of scran, because I don't even know what time. I don't even know what time it is. What fucking time is it? 9:20. Well, I've got to go to the butcher's on the way home, and the pet shop because the dog needs his food. So we get that done, get home, I'm going to sit down, I'll have my post-workout and do the Q&A whilst I am getting a bit of food, because it's been, close to 3 hours since I've ate now. 4 hours. 4 hours is about my limit, and then we need to be getting some more scran in me, so quick fly home. The weather is starting to perk up. Well, I say perk up, it was nice anyway, but the weather's starting to get a little bit warmer. Top up the tan. Double dose the melanotan today, and we should be good. Catch us all when I'm back at home, chilling. Right then, we are back home. We have post-workout, and I'm going to run through a couple of questions. As I say, I put that question box up last week, and I've got 6 here that were very kind of prep competitor based that I thought would be ideal to kind of run through this. Obviously very short, sharp questions got answered on Instagram. But I found these at least 5 of these, definitely these 6 that I've picked here, that I wanted to kind of put across on this longer form platform. I say post-workout, if you've already watched my videos or follow me on Instagram, you know exactly what this is. Strom Sports cream of rice, 75 gram, 45 gram of Naughty Boy cinnamon bun whey, and some blueberries, 50 gram of frozen blueberries on top of that as well, which will probably be defrosted by the time I finish this video. I have already had a couple of bites out of it because I can't wait. It is my favourite meal. I literally cannot wait to eat that. I can never decide between the white chocolate salted caramel cream of rice with the Naughty Boy Biscoff caramel biscuit whey, or the vanilla sugar cookie cream of rice with the cinnamon bun whey. I don't know which is my favourite combo. I'm still deciding. They're both absolutely 10-10. But I always forget to mention it when I run through subs. Haven't forgot this time. Any supplements that you need, link is in the description. Head over to Full Bore Sports, use code LANDON, all in capitals, to get yourself a little bit of a discount. Sign up to the members site to get even more of a discount on your subs. Get your free next day delivery and all that malark. So yeah, well worth it. And obviously it gets you access to the members site where I put even more videos up there. Obviously a lot of the athletes that are on the team are all putting videos on there. So some great content, bigger discounts, free next day delivery. Make sure you go and sign up. But if not, definitely go and use my code to get 10% off. Any supplements that you need, any of the ones that I've ran through, the HR Labs, loaded Hydro EAAs, the Vascumax, the Prepare Pro, all of my health stack and everything like that I've ran through in previous videos on that members site. Or if you just want some whey and cream of rice, again, head there. All the best brands are on that website. Trained by JP, Strom, Naughty Boy. I think I ran through it in the last video, but yeah, shitloads. Ignore all the holes in the wall. I'm currently in the process of redecorating. I've got some panel in there that's going to go up. I've finally got my Pro card from last year, all framed, ready to go up. I got that back from the framers 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I'm in the process of sorting everything out. I've had a new desk, standing desk. Again, if you follow me, you'll see now that I absolutely smash my steps out by kind of midday most days. Now I've got the standing desk with the walking pad. It's literally been a prep lifesaver. First kind of 4, 5, 6 weeks of prep until I got this. I was literally chasing steps every day because obviously I sit here for hours at a time. Which takes so much time out of being active and moving. Getting the standing desk has literally been a game changer these last 2 weeks. So if you're in prep and you're a coach, or you just work from home a lot of the time and you find yourself sedentary, get yourself invest in a standing desk and a walking pad. It is the best investment that I've made. And it was quite cheap as well. I think I only paid like 60 quid off Amazon. No brainer. Right, let's get into the Q&A, because this is just staring at me and I can't wait to eat it. So I wrote down the questions on here. First one, your favourite and worst parts of prep. Worst parts of prep is the fact that my sleep goes to absolute shit. I don't know what it is. It's definitely a psychological thing. It's like I wake up in the middle of the night, like most people. A lot of people do wake up at some point during the middle of the night. But most people will go for a wee and then they'll get back into bed and they'll go back to sleep for a couple of hours. Me, I literally wake up and my brain is just fired 100 miles an hour from the second I wake up. That can be 11. I can go to bed at 9 and that can be 11 o'clock at night. That can be fucking 1 o'clock in the morning, like it was this morning, 10 to 1. It's now 10 o'clock. I've done 9 hours of my day already, nearly 9.5 hours. But yeah, definitely when my sleep goes to shit is being the worst part of prep, and that's really happened this past week. I don't think the heat has helped. Favourite part of prep? The productivity shift, the mindset shift. Admittedly, I do get a little bit lazy in off seasons. I do become a little bit less productive, as most people do in the wintertime. I'm somebody that really struggles in the wintertime, whether it's lack of sunlight and stuff. Like this year, I bought a sad lamp for the first time, which I've got here. Boom. I bought a sad lamp to help with seasonal affective disorder. I'm not going to say seasonal depression because it's not depression, but I definitely do get affected in the winter. Whereas prep, whether it's prep in the winter or whether it's prep in the summer, most of the time I prep through the summer now. But regardless, like I'm just fired up. Like the productivity and the want to win every single day is probably my favourite part of prep. I love the person that I become when I'm in prep, and the person that I always seem to take it to a next level, whether that's in my physique, whether that's in business, in my coaching, whatever it is. I always seem to take that next step level when I'm in prep. So I'd probably say that's my favourite part, other than getting on stage. Like getting on stage is so good. I do absolutely love that as well. So hopefully that answered that. On to the next one. Current prep stack. So I'm not going to run through the whole thing, but currently, let me get my dosing up actually. We are running 400 milligrams of test a week, 250 milligrams of Primo a week, and 700 Mast E a week. Split over 5 injections through the week. Let's say with peptides, I don't want to go all into it, but the usuals, kind of your MOTS-C, growth hormone, obviously, glow stack, DSIP has been added in to try and help with my sleep. I will be adding 5-amino in very soon, because we're going into them last couple of weeks now, and it's where it's most effective. Methylene blue, even though it's not a peptide. SLU, even though it's not a peptide. And then C-Max and Salank for my nootropics. So that is pretty much all of it. Got Anavar in as well, actually. Winstrol has just been put in as of Monday, as I explained earlier in the video. And then from a lipolytic standpoint, we've just got Clennon. T4 is in as a replacement, but I'll run T4 pretty much year round as replacement anyway. So yeah, that is it. Everything that you would usually expect in prep. Nothing too crazy. No Tren as of yet. No T3 as of yet. Which I probably don't think the T3 is going to be needed this time for the first time in a long time. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, that is prep stack. Let me go back to questions. Best piece of advice for somebody wanting to go pro. Be patient, be persistent, and be process driven. There is your 3 main tips. Don't chase the pro card, like particularly if you are in your first 2 to 3 years or even up to 5 years of competing. Do not chase that pro card. It took me 8 years to get mine. The standard nowadays is a hell of a lot higher than what it was when I first started chasing it as well. So yeah, like particularly an IFBB pro card. Obviously, if we're talking other pro cards, it's not as bad. Like you can achieve that in the first couple of years, but an IFBB pro card, the majority of people are gonna be on a long journey to get that. So you're gonna need patience, you're gonna need persistence, and as I say, be process driven more so than I want to get the card this year. Just think about becoming a better athlete year on year, prep on prep. Make sure you nail your off seasons, because all prep is polishing what you've built in your off season. If you don't build anything in your off season, you're just polishing another turd from the year before. So yeah, that is my advice. Next one, favorite peaking method. Whatever's the most controllable for the individual athlete. I don't think you should be married to any kind of peaking method at all. I know some are, but I genuinely don't think you should be married to any particular style. I've front loaded myself, I've back loaded, I've front loaded. I've never actually done a linear load, or kind of reversed into a show. That may be this year because we're so ahead of the game, so ahead of the curve in terms of progress. So it may be a case of we do that this year. I don't know as of yet, but it'd be interesting to actually try that for myself. But obviously last year I ran a backload for Alicante. It didn't work out, so we ran a front load for when I went for my pro card, and obviously won the pro card. So front loading worked well for me. If you're talking favorite peaking method that I like to use for clients, again, as I say, it's got to be individual based. I've ran different front loads completely this year. I've done, like with Dean for his first show, we done a linear load. For his second show, we done a front load. With Lee, we've backloaded every single time. Mohammed, we've done a backload for his Sweden show. This time we're going to be doing a linear load. So it's just whatever is going to be best to deliver that athlete on stage. There shouldn't be a favorite method. There'll be one that coaches will more opt for. But as I say, for me, regardless of it, it's going to be what you know is going to be the most controllable for that individual athlete. What makes a good athlete is the next question. I think that ties in pretty... Now I've actually answered the question. I think that ties in very well with the best advice for someone wanting to go pro. Be patient, be persistent, and be process driven. That is what makes a good athlete. Not fucking I need to be here in this certain amount of time, or that person's there, or I want to be there. It's not the approach. I say be process driven. Dean, my client, is a very good example of this. Like, he just loves progression, whatever it is. He just loves progression, and that will see him go very far as an athlete. He's still in his first year. Obviously, we got a first and a third, and we're already on it and already got the game plan to make improvements for next season. And as I say, like, he enjoyed the stage, but he actually said, like, the stage is not something that appealed to him. He's not that kind of person. He knew that was something that came at the end of the process of a prep, and he wanted to go through the process and enjoy the process. And that is the best mindset you can have. Just think about continually progressing. Whatever result you get on stage, as long as you've give everything to the process, it doesn't fucking matter. Because at the end of the day, whether you've won your first ever show whether you've come last in your first ever show or whether you've won Mr. Olympia, you need to come out of that show and you need to get back into the process and you need to make progression. So it doesn't matter whether you've come last, first, whether you're the best in the world or whether you are fucking not even stepped on stage yet. It's all about being process driven. It's all about focusing on just becoming a better athlete and progressing that physique, progressing that mindset. So yeah, that is what I would say makes a good athlete. And then the last one, which was actually a question from my client, how have you found putting clients on stage and being in prep? Now, this is the first year. I say this is the first year. Last year I did it for the first time, but I was only like 2 weeks into prep when I had kind of the last show of clients for my duration of my prep. Obviously, this time, first show was the end of April, which I was like 3-4 weeks into prep at that point. I've still got this weekend, I've still got next weekend, which is going to put me 4 weeks out. So it's going to be like a 10-week period of prep where most weekends I've been at shows. Because obviously the girlfriend's been competing as well. So if I've not had a client at a show, I've been at a show with her. I've been away for most weekends. And do you want to know what? Like, admittedly, going into prep, I was not extremely stressed, but I was very stressed about how I was going to manage it. But as with everything in prep, mate, it's just kind of like you just need to get it done. Regardless of situation, you find a way to get it done. Yes, there may be some alterations. There may be obviously changes of training days, which I've had to do. Obviously, take rest days when I'd normally train and so on. Had to kind of swap meals around, but again, I macro track, so that was very easy. So yeah, it's actually been pretty good. It's been nice to kind of be in the process with them as well. It's obviously been great for my clients because I've been up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, literally sitting there waiting for them to check in at 4-5 in the morning, and then they've been getting responses immediately. And the plan set that they're checking at 5, by 5:30 they've got the plan, they know what they're doing for the day. That's before they've done their cardio and stuff. So yeah, it's been very helpful. Yeah, I'd say it's been very helpful from a coaching perspective to be in the process with them. I think a coach walking the walk, or not necessarily a coach walking the walk at the same time, but definitely a coach that has at least walked the walk is absolutely vital when it comes to bodybuilding. Being able to understand where your client's headspace is at, being able to understand the difficulties that can come along with a prep. I say just general life difficulties or the issues that you kind of get in prep. If you haven't been through that, you can't relate to a client. You can't understand it. And as I say, being actually in the process with them has kind of just done that tenfold, because I know exactly what they're going through. I might be a couple of weeks behind, but obviously I know exactly where their headspace is at. I've done this many times before, and I'm continuing to do it and continuing to deliver results. Like, as I say, this year has been a fantastic year for clients on stage. 3 clients on stage over 4 shows so far. Nobody out of the top 3 as of yet. I've had 2 firsts, 3 seconds, 2 thirds. Whilst prepping, well, not prepping myself, because obviously Zach preps me, but whilst going through prep myself, whilst delivering on everything that I need to deliver on as an athlete and delivering everything that I need to deliver on as coach, it's actually been really nice. And it's something that I think, obviously, looking into the future, obviously I'm going to be competing for many years, hopefully, as long as no issues come up. I'm obviously planning on competing for the next good kind of like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 years. I won't say too long, but yeah, for as long as I can see into the future, like or as long as I like to look into the future, if we're looking at like a 5-year plan, like I still want to be competing, I still want to be chasing Olympia, I still want to be chasing the top of the game and being amongst the elite, whilst also becoming amongst the top of the coaches. I don't want to say the elite of the coaches, because there's levels to it. You've got Zach, you've got Cal, and then obviously looking at international ones like Patrick Tour and Stefan, like none of them compete. None of them compete whilst they are doing it. And that is for me, that is the only way to reach the elite level of coaching. You've gotta be all in on that coaching. But I don't believe you can't be a great coach and a great athlete at the same time. And this prep has absolutely proved that 100 times over to me. I'm the best that I've ever looked. I've made the best progression that I ever have. It's been the smoothest prep that I've ever run. I've delivered results on stage for clients, from first timers to pro qualifiers to NPC pro qualifiers. So yeah, putting clients on stage and being in prep has been absolutely fantastic, and will do it again, and actually look forward to doing it again, and look forward to having a long, successful career as an IFBB pro and delivering on stage for athletes of all standards, as say first timers to those chasing pro cards, and eventually delivering people on stage as pros as well. So yeah, if you're looking to sign up to coaching, now you know where I stand, you know where I am. But yeah, that is it. Finally, I can eat my cream of rice. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed that new kind of newish style of training, and kind of being involved with it, with me explaining how I like to run through things. That is how I'm going to do these videos from now on, actually. I know I said right at the start of training I wasn't going to just film the whole way through, but I actually really enjoyed it, and I think it actually provided a lot of value to training, rather than just seeing somebody bounce from set to set to set to set. We've all watched YouTube videos where it's like that, and by the time they get to the third exercise, we're switched off, we're not asked. So I'm glad that I've kind of adapted to this style, and going to provide that little bit of value, a little bit of extra value to the training to the training videos. Hopefully you got something good from the Q&A, and yeah, that is it. Going to enjoy cream of rice, and then I'm going to crack on with check-ins. I've already done prep check-ins. They were set before I went to the gym at 6 o'clock this morning. I didn't go to the gym at 6, but I set them up at 6. And then yeah, just finish off check-ins, and then that's me done for the day. I'm probably going to get a kip after I've done at least a few of these check-ins, because as I say, I've been up since 10 to 1 this morning. It is now 10:30. Crazy. Catch you in the next video.